I saw this simple gun tips for writers thing around, and let's see if it's accurate. Hi, I'm Marcus Vance, military veteran, former fencing instructor, tactical consultant for television and novels, and I also have some professional level publications in fiction. There is no muzzle flash when a shotgun or handgun is fired. Never, not once. That is not true, and we are off to not the best start. Handguns and shotguns expel superheated gas, so there is a muzzle flash. Guns are fudging loud. Yeah, that's really true. However, it's important to remember context. They're not like one shot will make you completely lose your hearing forever. I mean, just look at the numerous videos about law enforcement shooting people inside. They're firing multiple shots and then they're joking with their buddy right after. They're not like, ah! And chances are they didn't like stop in front of that place and put in hearing protection. Though guns are loud, but they're not debilitatingly so. Next up, bullet shells are hot. If they come out of the gun and touch you, on your clothes or not, they will burn you. Against exposed flesh, yeah, they definitely hurt. However, through clothes, I mean, I don't know, that depends on how thick your clothes are. On that note, after firing, the barrel of a gun and the muzzle of a gun are hot. It really depends on the thickness of it. So the barrel of the gun would be inside of the slide and everything, at least with the semi-automatic pistol. But the exposed barrel would be hot after a few shots. Yeah, it could definitely hurt you, but like one or two, Up next, contrary to Wanted, you cannot bend the trajectory of a bullet. Like, that literally does not make sense if you know anything about any sort of physics. Yeah, that is true. You can't bend bullets, you can't curve bullets. The trajectory of bullets. Up next, fudging aim. Like very, very experienced shooters can whip a gun out of a holster or their waistline of their pants and maybe shoot somewhere near where they intended, but that's also if they know their gun. But yeah, there's no instinctual dead shot in the heart. Hence why hunting is hard and why shooters that have been hunting/shooting for 20 to 50 years have a hard time dropping a buck. Now, so this is really interesting because the person here is showing that they know more about hunting. Because in this context, when you're like 50 to 100 yards or more away from an animal and you have to get an ethical shot into a vital organ, yeah, you need to aim and watch your breathing. However, with guns, there's a concept called instinctive shooting, and that's like, I can point at the camera without needing to like, squint. And I can point a gun at the camera without needing to do that at my phone. Because somebody who uses a firearm proficiently kind of has an instinctive knowledge of where it is pointing. This door is like 3 meters away, and I'm pretty sure that I can turn and shoot around the window area without like, you know, squinting aiming. So, yeah. And that was not me trying to demonstrate that I'm like a super good shot. That was supposed to be like a basic demonstration of what a lot of trained people know how to do. Like in a self-defense situation, you're not aiming trying to get a heart shot, you're trying to get an anything shot. In fact, some modern techniques have the person drawing their pistol, immediately pointing it forward, and then starting shooting as they're going forward and gripping the pistol. So yeah, it's good to aim, but it's not like you can't hit something in the 3 to 7 meters that gunfights usually take place, at least outside of the military. Up next, there's this thing called kickback. So the way guns work is that they're basically a mini explosion. Yeah, that's true. This explosion in all guns, not just shotguns and high caliber rifles, can cause the gun to jerk back and can push back the entire body of an unexperienced shooter. It really hurts your shoulder too. I mean, everybody has their own recoil tolerance. I wouldn't say that they all really hurt your shoulder. And in my personal opinion, there's not even a direct correlation with size. Like, this is .375 H&H Magnum, and this was a joy to shoot out of a bolt-action rifle. Meanwhile, .45-70, which is smaller, creates less kinetic energy, all that, I really hated firing this out of a lever action. There's this other one that I found with more advice. Please learn the difference between a clip and a magazine. I mean, technically there is a difference. However, people who correct other people on that are really semantic. I personally think that they're pretty much synonymous. I mean, if you say, hand me that clip, and we're in a firefight, I know what you're talking about. And also, what's more, clip has a lot of hard consonants, so it's really recognizable in, like, a firefight. Meanwhile, magazine's kind of a softer word, so it would be a bit harder to discern. It's a suppressor, not a silencer. Hollywood lied to you. I mean, again, they're pretty much synonymous, but yeah, suppressors don't make guns Hollywood level quiet. A lot of times they more make guns hearing safe for people. And the US Marines do use them because it's a lot easier to listen to somebody giving you orders when your ears aren't ringing from gunshots right next to you. So they do help, but if you say suppressor instead of silencer or silencer instead of suppressor, we're gonna know what you're talking about. Your character is not going to fire a weapon and then immediately jam the gun into their waistband. We had this discussion about guns getting hot already. A shot or two might be okay, depending on the exact structure of the gun and your trousers. The next part is getting into a gunshot. Even one that doesn't hit a major organ is still a debilitating injury. I don't mean to demean gunshots. They're not good. However, people have survived 12 shots, textbook center of mass, at least long enough to return fire. And people have obviously survived gunshots in high-stress situations and continued to fight and survived. I'm not saying that they don't hurt, but somebody can theoretically work through that level of pain depending on the person. There are even some accounts of people not realizing that they've been shot, so make of that what you will. In reality, a lot of people react differently to gunshots, and even the same person would probably react differently to getting hit in a different place. And the bottom line is that Hollywood lied to you. I mean, in the past, yeah, definitely, 100% sure, like Arnold Schwarzenegger would need to reload his AK-47. But recently we're seeing more and more realistic fighting with like John Wick and stuff. Obviously not every single movie has factually correct firearms. And if you want factually correct firearms, you could hire me if you're a movie producer watching this video right now. Watching this long video of mine. So I've debunked a lot of writing advice, but I haven't given any. My big point of advice is if you're including firearms or really even swords or anything in your work of fiction, then please research those. I mean, researching for writing is pretty much writing, so that can go towards your daily word count. And chances are some massive nerd will be examining your uses of firearms, so it's better to put in at least a little effort for that. And while looking into basic firearms techniques and maybe models, it's good to consider if you want to go like super vague, just say pistol or handgun, or more specific like the Halo Magnum. And while you'd still need to get some general stuff accurate with the pistol, like, if you're talking about a semi-automatic, then don't have it load like a revolver. If you're talking more specific, then look into the magazine capacity, the available calibers, how common they were in what parts of the world. You can use it as a character building device to show some background. If you got something useful from this video, leave a like. If you didn't get something useful from this video, leave a dislike. I have YouTube memberships available if you want to get some to help me buy more of these.